Hey guys, what is up? This is Daquin. How you doing? Today, kind of a special video. I figured this would probably be a good place, to put my video of this particular nature in my gaming channel, as what I'm talking about does have to do with gaming. I am starting to get into, or wanting to get into, D&D or Dungeons and Dragons for those who just have no idea what D&D stands for. Man, where in the world do I even begin? I am going to be getting into this thing for the first time, if I can, as soon as possible. When I say I'm a noob at this, when I say I'm beginning, and I mean this in the most raw way possible, okay? I don't even have all the materials yet. Officially, okay, I'll go with unofficial first. I went to the library, did some checkout of some D&D material. I'd gotten, let me look here, what did I get? I got kind of a crappy copy of 4th edition Dungeon Master, okay? That's the version I think I'm going to get into is 4.0, and I don't want to hear anything about, 3.5 is better, because you know what, whatever. But yeah, I just decided to go for 4.0 after a little bit of research, whatever. Anyway, next I'd gotten The Plane Below. Just to kind of look through these other books. I just got to look through and, see what I thought about them. Psionic Power, which is the options for Ardents, Battle Minds, Monks, and Scions. I'm not even going to probably be able to get through most of these books before it comes time to take these back. And then Martial Powers 2, options for Fighters, Rangers, Rogues, and Warlords. Boy, yeah, I'm quite excited to get into this. Just today, I went and bought, for the first time, my own D&D book. In this case, it was the Player's Handbook. Got to start somewhere. I'm probably gonna, buy the other two core books that I need. The DM book that obviously I just showed you that I got from the library, and whatever the hell it is, the Monster Manual, or at least the core Monster Manual. I know there's, a number of other Monster Manuals out there, but yeah, I'm considering starting, and obviously I think I want to start with the books first, and I also want to get, all the other necessary things I need, to feel like I have the complete set of materials that I need to get going, such as, the DM screen and the map that you set out on the table, and the minifigs, or the minis, or the figs, whatever, they're called here, within the circle of D&D players. Please, I'm not making this video to get flamed by those who actually play D&D. I know I'm a noob. I totally accept that. The only unfortunate thing in my case is that I don't have any friends whatsoever that actually knows how to play, and I know there are ways to get, into contact with other players who actually know how to play, other groups of D&D players who know how to play and play on a regular basis. But unfortunately, I'm of that sort that it's hard for me to meet new people. But my plan is to get into the game, being the noob that I am, with other like-minded noobs, and see if I can create my own group of noobs, of virginal noobs. Gotta pop the cherry of the D&D sort. And yeah, we're gonna try on that. But we're gonna go ahead and do that particular thing. Sorry, I've had a few rounds, so you'll have to forgive me. So, yeah, today's the date of this recording is 1st of November. Biggest Ducks game of the season for any of you Duck fans out there, and whatever, any of the other college college football people, but I don't really care. But since I'm over at the house of a big Duck fan, let me start over. A house full of Ducks fans. There we go. I thought I'd go ahead and slosh it up a little bit with my own amount of lubricant. Anyway, but back on track. So anyway, I'm wanting to start playing, and I know that it's going to be hard for me and a bunch of other people who like me, who don't really know how to play the game, but want to play, and I know it's going to take a lot of time to learn, and a lot of patience, and of course a lot of investment on many people's parts, to buy the books and any other material that they might need to get through the game. And I understand a lot of you would say, well, go ahead and get online, find yourself a group of people, that you, I don't know if you can hear that, but the game has already started. So you're hearing a lot of cheering and whatnot. But anyway, hopefully the Ducks win. We don't know yet, so if you're watching this and you already know who won, well, good for you. Anyway, damn, where was I? But, oh yeah, anyway, I'm trying to start my own, collection of people to play with. But, of course, they're like-minded like me. They want to learn how to play, but we have no one to help teach us. With that idea in mind, I don't want people to be like, oh, well, you need to find someone to help you play. I understand that. I would love if I knew someone, ahead of time that knew how to play or could at least DM for us. But what are you going to do? But for the time being, I'm still waiting to get my own... Shit, where was it? Alright. I'm waiting to get my own DM book as well as my own monster manual so I can get through, get my own collection of the books I need and all the other necessary things, the tabletop, dungeon, grid map, and miniatures or whatever. Ducks must be going good. Must be doing okay, right? Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of cheering. Again, I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know if the mic is sensitive enough to hear that. But anyway, though, at this point, I'm just going to accept the fact that most of the people that I would be trying to get into the game with are of that total noob mindset like me, who have never, we've heard the game, we've heard, how people act around the table and everything, but we have never actually done it ourselves. We don't have anyone to help us with the official rules, and yes, it's probably going to take a while to be able to get around to really learning the intricacies of the game, of D&D. So more than likely we're going to have to dick around a little bit, how to play, and I can almost guarantee you, once I get all through books and get at least the mandatory things, even if it has to be, graph paper, even if we get the mandatory requirements to set up some kind of gameplay, I know there's probably going to be a lot of rules we're probably going to be breaking, and probably, if we were to record it and show it here on YouTube, that people are going to be looking at us and being like, or the D&D, the experienced / seasoned D&D players are going to be like, oh, this is painful. This is just freaking painful to watch, because they know that, no, we're not doing it this way, we're forgetting to do this, or, we are just out of it. We aren't following the appropriate rules of the mindset. And I know that, you can take a game, and kind of go with it how you want, because, if you're learning the game, what can you do, right? Unless you always have that one friend or more, one plus friend, who just knows how to play, and they can teach you everything there is to know right then and there, every time you play, okay, that's cool. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people who go to play the game, and they don't have that option. That's us. We don't have that option, so we're going to try, to learn as we go, create maybe some short stories, some really short, one session campaigns, whatever. Follow some simple campaigns that maybe someone posted online or whatever, and kind of follow that. Have some fun with it, because isn't that the whole point of the game, or any game whatsoever? Whether it's a tabletop game like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or D&D, of course, those two out of three are totally different groups of tabletop games. Now, if we're talking Magic, that'd be a whole other can of beans right there, because I actually know how to play Magic. I may not be a tournament goer, and I may not keep up with the latest expansions, but hey, I have been playing probably since high school, and that was back in 95, 96 probably. So I started back out in Ice Age and Homelands. Anyway, keep getting sidetracked. I do love Magic. Oh boy, I hope no one comes in here and ruins this for me. But anyway, I love Magic, and I loved the creativeness of creating the decks, and the strategy of Magic, as I'm sure a lot of Magic players know. I'm assuming that if you're into D&D, you might maybe be in Magic. I don't know, but for those who are into both Magic and D&D, they're both fun games. They can both be fun games, but of course Magic is more strategic, whereas D&D, of course, is more based on imagination, with a certain set of rules to keep everyone kind of in check. But because I'm into Magic, made by wizards, and of course D&D being owned currently by Magic for I don't know how many years now. I know that Magic not Magic, but D&D I think was created by TSR, maybe. I'd have to go and look that up. I'm not 100% sure, because I'd always heard of D&D when I was a kid, but never got into it. But boy, I sure know how to make this long-winded, don't I? Anyway, the point though is that I'm getting into Magic. Getting into D&D, and I think the whole point of this video was not to. I don't want to make it look like I'm showing off. How can I show off with I'm showing off my one book, but anyone who watches this, and anyone who has played D&D, hopefully they will. Anyone who decides to comment or come in contact with me, and they want to say something to me. Hopefully it's something positive, something constructive. I'm trying to do my research into this game. Like I said, as you can probably tell by some of the art, I'm getting into 4.0 of D&D, and I know there's some, there can be some big differences between like 3.5 and 4.0, and I know there's, you have those two separate groups of players, the 3.5 players and the 4-point players, who are like, no, 3.5 is better, no, 4 is better, but you know what, apparently it sounds like it's pretty much whatever version you learn and get into. It's kind of like a tribal, it's a big tribal sort of thing, really. That's what it sounds like to me, is that your favorite ends up being the version that you started on, or that you learned, or like in this case, if you started, from like the first version, like the AD&D, and then kind of onwards to, the third version, 3.5, whatever. Yeah, and then have 4 apparently, after doing my own little research on the matter. If 4 was a pretty big jump, apparently, from 3.5. It's not just a little bit of a difference here. Yeah, anyway, I won't bore anyone with that, because I'm sure anyone watching this might have D&D experience already. But anyway, as I was saying, anyone who has experience in this matter, and if they decide for one reason or another to contact me, comment, whatever, I hope that what you have to say is, constructive, because, quite frankly, something that's not constructive is just plain stupid. If you're going to flame me because, oh, you're an idiot, you shouldn't bother playing because you look like a retard. Come on, guys, really. Grow the hell up. Shut up. I hate those people. If you don't care with what I'm doing or what I'm trying to learn, don't call me a freaking noob, because anyone, with that kind of attitude, go away, please, please. I'm asking as politely as I can. I don't know if you've watched any of my other previous videos. Well, game related, actual like PC or PS4 related games, where you've heard me say that. Like, if you're gonna, please, I don't want to get flamed for something that I'm doing or something that I said, because it just irritates me. Because it doesn't need to be said. It's like, in this case, I know that what I'm doing, look, I'm just getting started, and then anyone who knows how to play the game, they're gonna look at you and be like, stupid noob. I'm gonna say something mean to you because you shouldn't bother playing. I just realized I went off on a tangent there, but anyway, yeah, that kind of stuff irritates me. But anyway, yeah, but that kind of goes in time with the idea of having constructive criticism. If you're going to say something to me, please make it at least be constructive, even if it's, you should do this instead, or you should do that, or that. At least make it constructive, instead of just full on like, I'm going to flame you because I can do it. I'm learning. I want to learn. I've read a little bit of the Dungeon Master book. I've gotten to page. Crap. Hold on. 20. Yeah, but to 27, which is just dispensing information on on dungeon mastering. There's a lot of stuff in here, guys. There really is. It would take me a while just to read this book, and then the fact that I just bought, this book, and then there's the 3 other books that I have, the supplement books. That's a lot of material to go through. So, and I'm sure everyone knows what it feels like, just starting out in a game like this. It's like when I started out in Magic, there's so much, information coming out at you that you're like, I don't know what to do. There's so much stuff here. And it's kind of feeling this way because the only thing right now that I can see about Magic, why I would like Magic more, is because I think it's more structured and everything's more physical. You have your decks. You created your decks. You have your hand and everything that. And aside from learning the little rules about about your turn, the phases of your turn, and all that kind of stuff, and what does what are creatures, what are spells, what are interrupts, what are sorceries, what are interrupts. Well, interrupts are actually apparently no more, but all those kind of things. Everything's more structured, I think, in Magic, and it looks like things are very structured here in D&D, but the difference, though, it seems to me, is that with D&D. There's obviously a set of ground rules, but a lot more of the gameplay centers more not on, of what's in necessarily, a rule book and, oh, God, do this and this and this and this. Oh, no, you can't do that, you can't do that, can't do that. Oh, but you can do that. This is more kind of what, it all runs more in your imagination. And also, of course, what your group decides upon, what the GM decides upon, all this kind of stuff. So it's a little bit more open rather than, more loosey-goosey open, in D&D, rather than the more structured Magic game where, you set out your card and you're like, you know what, I set out a creature who has an ability or a spell or an enchantment or something that does this, and whatever this says, you're good to go. Sure, you could probably hear that. Anyway, that's the only thing that's probably going to get me is the more openness, of D&D versus Wizards. Even though I know there's a lot of, rulings and groundwork that D&D has. Anyway, I'm going to probably stop, just vomiting out words at this point. I'm sure this video's probably gone on long enough. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I just wanted to give you guys an update, that I'm starting D&D 4.0. So if anyone would like to leave a comment, make some suggestions of, whatever, even just to chit chat and talk and have fun, please let me know. I would love to chat with you and kind of get some insight in the game. You know, do a little insight roll. You know, some a perception check. You know, into the game. Oh, I probably totally use the perception check thing as, you know, totally out of what it's meant to be here in the game. Anyway, so yeah, so anyway, please do that, and just if you're gonna talk to me, or that sounds bad. I'm sorry. If you're gonna, you know, comment, whatever, just I would love to get, you know, into a conversation with everyone, and let them, and, you know, see if there's anything that they think what I should do with, you know, the 4-point game and all this kind of stuff. You know, I would love to chit chat, because, you know, the more I can learn, the better. I would love to hear from you guys about that matter. So anyway, as I usually end with most of my videos, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.